Informational only. This is not a select board meeting. This is not, this is so that the, yep.
So since there's no quorum, it's not subject to the open meeting law rules, which means, they're not required to, take minutes or record it. So what I'm asking is, are they going to record it and are they going to post?
I'm going to record it and post it. I will not be posting minutes,
Okay.
but it will be recorded and posted on the website.
On the YouTube channel?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, and linked to on the town website.
Okay.
Yep. And if anybody sees anybody waiting for admittance up there, just let me know. So I should have, did I have enough for everybody? Oh, okay, all right, great. So the clerk's office received 2 petitions to change the town charter. One of them was received on January 7th. One of them was received on, I believe, the 15th. I did not recognize the difference between an article warning and a charter warning because the distinction was not clear in the documentation from any previous town clerk and VLCT as I saw it. When I was looking to find out how I could accommodate the hearings necessary for the charter changes, there were 2, as I described before, 2 hearings need to occur. I reached out to the Vermont League of Cities and Towns and got a response back from Garrett Baxter, who is a lawyer with the Vermont League of Cities. Oh, yep, sorry. I got a letter back from, or I got a phone call and then a letter documenting our phone call back from Garrett Baxter at the Vermont League of Cities and Towns. The way that the state deals with charter changes is the same way in terms of what they need to be warned and what they need to, for hearing requirements, is the same as a town meeting. It also means that the timeline of that is cumulative, not additive, which means that we need 30 to 40 days to warn the first hearing, and then the first hearing occurs 30 to 40 days before the vote. What this means is that if we wanted to make a charter change, if a charter change was going to be proposed, it needed to be warned 60 to 70 days before town meeting, which would have put it at the timeline of January 3rd being the last day. Because of that, we can't accept because we can't warn them legally, they will not be able to be considered on the town ballot this year.
Yeah, we were supposed to have been notified within 24 hours if there was an issue, and that is not the information that I'm talking about the statutes. The information that I have from the statutes is 47 days prior to the vote, which is 47 days from March 4th backwards would be the last day that you determine a petition for a charter change. And
that was my understanding too. But if we go through this letter here from Garrett Baxter, who's a lawyer and represents the Vermont League of Cities and Towns, we'll go through this and I'll show you the sections that he specifically refers to where my understanding and that general understanding were incorrect. Specifically, in the paragraph down towards the bottom of the page, notice of public hearings and of the annual or special meeting must be given in the same way and time as for the annual meetings of the local government. And then he quotes the actual statute, which says, notice of each public hearing in the annual or special town meeting must be given in accordance with section 2641 of the chapter. I've included the section 2641 as part of this package. Therefore, the meetings and hearings must be posted and published in accordance with section 2641. Because the first hearing must be held at least 30 days before the annual or special meeting and must be warned in accordance with state law, section 2641, the first hearing must consequently be warned no later than 60 days or earlier than 70 days prior to the meeting at which the amendment will be considered. Then this then means that the second hearing must also be warned no later than 30 days nor more than 40 days before it's held. The practical reality of this additional process, on top of that required for properly warning an annual town meeting, effectively means that the first hearing would have to have been warned between December 24th and January 3rd for charter adoption, amendment, or repeal to be voted on at this town meeting day. This effectively means that a town needs to be adding the notice of the charter hearings on top of noticing for annual and town meetings, thereby making them cumulative. That's the understanding as far as the state of Vermont is concerned in terms of warning this issue. On the front page of this document, I've included the name, contact information for Jenny Prosser. She works at the Secretary of State's office in the elections division. She is a resource to reach out to confirm that this is the understanding of the state of Vermont's legislature in regards to this issue. This is what I received from a lawyer from the VLCT. He enlightened me. I'm enlightening you I literally learned this yesterday at 4:30. I asked Janice to make some calls. I'm letting you know 24 hours later as soon as I discovered this issue. My apologies for not catching it sooner. This was my first town meeting organizing it, but also it's not clear, as we all see, it's not very clear, the distinction between those laws, between the law of when it needs to be warned and heard. That being said, the select board has, as a show of good faith in this issue, they've asked that an article expanding the select board from 3 to 5 be included on the warrant for this town meeting. Now, that's something that the select board can do without the need of a citizen petition. So it will go on the warrant for this town meeting. It's already been agreed upon by the select board. And it will be confirmed as of the next select board meeting. We'll have the vote, it will be in the minutes and all that stuff. In regards to the selection of the select board, and this is the second handout. The way that the select board addition has to work is that if the select board is increased in size, the select board can't appoint selectmen or select people, to fill those petitions or fill those positions. What needs to happen is for a special town meeting to be held that will elect 2 additional representatives to the select board. The reason for that is also listed there's a document, both the state law covering this issue and VLCT's policy that I confirmed with Garrett Baxter at VLCT is still accurate about the way that this is handled. Basically, because the select board doesn't have the authority to appoint a town official unless they resign, have been removed, die, or become insane, or removed from the town. They basically need a special meeting to allow for the election of a position. So what's going to happen is that if the article that's on the ballot passes on town meeting day, on the vote, we will trigger a special town meeting to occur along the appropriately warned increments necessary for law. At that point, we could consider the other petition that we're discussing here, which is the recall petition, the charter change recall petition. That would occur at that special town meeting, which would be 60 to 70 days from town meeting in March. So it'd be 2 some odd months later from that. That's if the petition, there's a couple different scenarios here. That's if the petition passes on March 4th. We go to the polls, it's going to be included on your ballot. Shall the voters approve an increase of the select board to be from 3 to 5 and all the definitions of term lengths and all that stuff that would be appropriate. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is that the petitioners for these 2 petitions withdraw the petitions and we handle it at either a subsequent special town meeting called for in the future or next year at annual town meeting. That's option 2. Option 3 is that the petitions, or is that the folks in the town can get together and sign a petition to call for a special town meeting to occur at a properly warned time in the future. and that can handle these issues. That's option 3. So what the select board has agreed to and what is recommended by Vermont League of Cities and Towns is to see how the article does on election day, and then make a decision about whether or not we need to have when we need to have a special town meeting to handle this issue in the future. So, yes, is this?
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's fine, and I'm not really good with this, whether or not we have 3 to 5 people. I think it would be a difficult goal to achieve and to retain, because with a small number of people that we have a busy population. And the reason we haven't had a change in the current select board is because nobody steps up to take their place. But that's all right. That's, if the people want to go that way, I'm ambivalent about that. But I don't think the other petition should hinge upon the acceptance of this petition.
And yeah,
was currently you just said.
yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily, and that's what I'm saying is option 3, which is that the petitioners either petition for a special town meeting, excuse me, or if there is not, if say the article fails to expand the select board, then at that point, on March 4th, March 5th, I get a petition on my desk that says, we, the undersigned, it's 5%, I think, of voters, ask for a special town meeting to be held in accordance with all the rules associated with warning that meeting properly, and that happens.
That's requiring another petition. You have one that was submitted on the 7th of this month. I'd say we move forward on that and have the necessary special meeting to vote on, and not have it contingent upon the 3 to 5 increase.
So it's not contingent on the 3 to 5 increase. It can happen regardless.
It can, but it's being postponed, and I don't think we should postpone it, particularly to next town meeting.
Okay, so as of now, it already is postponed until next town meeting.
Why?
Because again, it didn't meet the qualifications to.
Well, you got that petition.
Knock you off? No.
Statute, and I read the statute. Without any provisions on that statute, we the people have the right to submit that petition, and you, the select board, and anybody else cannot change the wording, and we want that petition accepted and acted upon, and not delayed until the subsequent town meeting.
The way that the town meeting the way that a town meeting to vote on this, on the recall charter change would happen would be either the select board would call for a special town meeting, or 5% of the voters would sign a petition to call for a special town meeting. Okay. So, but is my understanding, is our understanding clear though, that yeah, it's not going to happen automatically?
We'll have to submit an addition, but we need to have that petition in the works so that we can go ahead and petition again.
Okay.
For this additional
Sure.
select board meeting.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I don't want this delay. We are tired of coming to these meetings, and the only reason we are here is because we're so upset with the current administration.
Okay.
Okay? You think people want to come out here every stinking week and listen to this stuff? This is pettiness. It's total pettiness. And we're sick of it because the select board hasn't listened to us.
Okay, so the situation is that if I get a petition tomorrow to call for a special town meeting, it will be warned in the appropriate way. It will be the 60 to 70 days that triggers the ability to discuss the charter proposal, charter proposal change. The earliest that it could be would be 70 days from my receiving the petition that is noted, warned, and received into the clerk's office. Yeah. For the special town meeting, exactly.
And the petition that we have now for removal of a select person, can that still be in good standing? Or
Yes.
do we have to repay?
Nope. I will keep that in good standing. That will be.
We just have to wait for the appropriate 60 days.
Yes, yeah. So if I receive notice for a special town meeting, what will happen will be the timeline will be contingent on making sure that this can be properly heard. The recall petition, the recall proposal can be properly heard, which means no more than 70 days, not less than 60 days for the first hearing, and then 30 days after, 30 days for the first hearing, and then 30 days after that for the meeting.
So you have to have a petition to hold the special meeting.
Yes.
To hear that.
Yes. Bob, then Sharon, yeah.
Can the select board call a special meeting?
Yes, so the idea is going to be that as of right now, if the article to increase the select board size happens, well, the vote passes, excuse me.
No, I mean, for the, recall of a person in town, can the select board call a special meeting to address that?
They can call a special town meeting. It would not necessarily be specific as to the issue. It would just be like, we're calling a special town meeting. All those interested need to, this is the warning, this is the warning for the special town meeting. It would be approximately 60 days. And at that point, everything else would kind of trigger like dominoes.
Because I would like to see that put on select board's agenda so that they either go along with it or be on the record as refusal to accept.
Okay, I can look into that. I can see what the requirements of that would be, and I can get back to you on that. I do understand what you're talking about. I don't have an answer specifically about whether that can be compelled to appear on the agenda. Yes.
I need to verify all this information.
Sure.
Completely different information than I was given from the Secretary of State's office.
Okay.
And I discussed things that there were different attorneys also in the election.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to go back on my computer and go through my emails and double check this information, because this is completely different than what I.
Sure. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I guess I verified this again, and then I reread the state law and saw where the actual language, I underlined it on this packet, where the actual language of the wording is. And it's literally the inclusion of the word "and." That's the problem. It's because it's "and." Right here, section 6A, notice of each public hearing and of the special annual or special meeting shall be given in accordance with section 2641, which deals with that 30-day time limit. If they had said or, then it would only be the normal 30 days. But because they said "and," it's a cumulative thing. It adds all together. That's my understanding from Vermont League of Cities and Towns. I had that confirmed. I went back and looked at the charter, the proposal that when Underhill did this in 2021, they warned it 60 days ahead of town meeting. They warned it in accordance with that.
Well, then they need to update their website, because they have the wrong information.
They certainly do.
They have the wrong information on the website. And that's not our fault.
No, I don't think that's anyone's, and I apologize for my misunderstanding of it too, but I thought the same as you. I thought it was the same requirements. I did not read that section of the law and think, oh, this is a cumulative process, not a singular process. I was looking at seeing it because our timeline is really close because of the 47 days and 30 days, and we're coming up on town meeting. I contacted the League of Cities and Towns to say, can I hear, because it has to be posted in the newspaper as well. So I contacted them and said, what are the details about posting this in the newspaper? What are the details about the hearing? Can you give me some guidance on if I can post them together in the newspaper because our timeline was really getting short? Can I create, can we have the hearings in the same week? Can they be one day after another? Because again, our timeline was getting short. So I contacted them thinking, okay, I have 47 to 30 days basically from this moment of getting that to be able to do this. How can I accomplish it in a way that's going to be legal? And that's when the lawyer from VLCT got back to me, and we went over this information and he sent this to me. I agree with you. It's not clear. It's not clear at all. Yeah. But I just, like I said, this is why I wanted the concerned folks here who had signed the petition to be here for this discussion.
I mean, I'm definitely.
Yeah, please do. Please do. No, absolutely. The more eyes on this, the better.
I just want to express my displeasure. The fact that not you, we signed
my wife and I, the petition on September 27th, 29th. Somewhere, somebody dropped the ball. We shouldn't even be in here for this. That petition was executed back in September.
September 29th at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, because we were told 47 days. And so
Why did we say in the last minute
Why
to
did
get
you
this
hold
through
it?
when they could be submitted in October?
it could have been your right, because people suggested to me to wait.
Why?
You'll have to ask them. I don't know, they didn't, they wanted.
I
to
mean,
hold
it
back
gives
to
Kyle time to argue.
I tried to have it submitted in earlier, but there was
Exactly.
reasons,
I think it was because we didn't want.
We didn't want interference from the select board.
Well, that was the reason.
That was the biggest reason is we
We
didn't
were
want
afraid of the select board.
interference from the
The
select board.
residents, we
We
were
have,
afraid of the select board.
yeah, which we have, at every turn, something we try to do, we did.
We get pounded down and it gets rejected. And
That's right.
here we were trying to play it safe, and we find that there's some little catch in the statute. So the reason she held it back, and I wasn't for it, was because she didn't want to have the select board have an opportunity to derail, okay?
Why are we so afraid that that's what,
Huh?
why are we so afraid as well?
Because they won't listen to us, they won't, they treat us as if we are stupid, and this is their little fiefdom, and they're gonna run it their way. We are all sick and tired. And I have better things at my age to come in here, I don't know how many times to spend trying to correct the situation. We cannot afford the budget we have, okay? It has gone up skyrocketed, we just can't afford it. So that's why we're here.
Are there any other questions, here and then Steve?
Yeah, I need to verify that
yeah,
they're not.
I'd like to say something, Kyle.
Okay, hang on 1 second, and we got a couple questions in the room here, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, it says on here that, like, this meeting had to be posted. Where was it posted and how long? I understand 24 hours.
Yeah,
I didn't get notice of
it was posted on the town website. It's an informational session from the clerk. It wasn't, because it's an informational session from the clerk, it's not an official meeting. But I wanted to make sure that the petitioners understood the ramifications of what was happening.
I did look on the website, the town website.
Yep.
but I didn't see it.
It was posted under the alerts tab on the bottom corner. There it said town meeting, click for more information. Yeah, I apologize. And I'm happy to hold another one of these to discuss this at greater length with a broader swath of people next week, properly noticed and heard. This will be discussed at the select board meeting on January 27th, absolutely. I just wanted as people to know as soon as possible about what was happening. Hang on, Sharon, because we have a couple more questions over here. Steve?
I'm just wondering, what is the purpose?
The agenda is to discuss the proposed charter change. That's it. Yep. Yep, that's the statutory requirement, is the hearing has to be what I was gonna do and what we will do in the future as these things are heard at special town meeting or otherwise. The hearings are gonna be moderated by our town moderator. And because the select board it's not an official select board meeting. It's a hearing for the issue to be heard, and the town moderator will be doing the moderation. Was that Martha I was hearing?
Yes, it is.
Hey, go ahead, Martha.
All right. Thank you for the information, Kyle. I have a couple questions. The first one is that should these petitions go forward and get voted on and approved, there's still a lengthy process for them to become part of the charter. Is that correct? Or
Yes, so the article that the select board has asked to be included on the warning would be considered a town article, because the town itself has the ability to increase the size of the select board without needing to change the charter. So that would be considered part of just town ordinance, town statute at that point, which means that it wouldn't have to go to the legislature or anything like that. Any
Okay.
proposed charter change, as in the issue dealing with the recall of elected officials, which was a charter change, cannot be considered on any article that the town can vote on, but will be, dealt with in a special town meeting and all that stuff. The charter will be changed, and then it will go to the legislature to be approved or debated at least by the General Assembly, and then signed into law by the governor.
Okay, and this is a perfect, that's what I wanted to know, but this is a yes or no question that I don't know if anyone will know the answer to, but the select board has made a kind decision to allow this to go on, to allow the one item to go on the ballot. Do they have the power or the authority or the to allow a special whatever, I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, I'm not like my mother, do they have the special authority to allow the petition to go on of the charter change? Or is
No.
that just not something we wouldn't want to even look at for the legality?
No, they do
Of
not
this
have the
happening.
authority, they do not have the authority to put a charter change onto an article to be warned like that.
Okay, thank you.
It has to be it would be a ballot, it would be a separate ballot item that would have to be, they could technically propose it, but it would be a separate ballot item. They can't just put it on the warning. It would go directly onto the ballot to be voted on at Australian ballot.
Okay, thank you.
Warrant article to change from 3 to 5.
Yep.
What would be the process for changing that again from 5 back to 3? That has to be voted on at town meeting.
So because it's an article change, it could be changed by another article in the future, yes.
At town meeting.
At town meeting, that's correct. Not at a select board meeting, no. It would have to be voted on by the people in the town, by ballot.
Or a special select, or a special.
Or at a special town meeting, yeah, a special or regular town meeting, yep. Does anyone else have any questions that are pertinent to this particular issue? All this information is going to be posted on the website. This recording is going to be posted on the website. The information, I'm happy to dig around to other people to contact. Unfortunately, Garrett Baxter doesn't work for the citizens, he works for the towns. So if you contact him, he won't be able to answer any questions for you on this issue. But you can contact the state elections division who can give you the answers to this. And I'm happy to provide any other folks that I've talked to in this course of this that you'd be able to discuss this with. Happy to go into further detail in person or whatever and have it all documented. We can record it and have it posted again. Want it to be as completely open and transparent as possible in terms of my ability to communicate this. All right. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. And thank you all online. We appreciate it.